Hello and welcome, foolish mortals. This is Emily.
And Clayton, your ghost hosts.
I have it down.
I have it down. And it's the moment we've all been waiting for. From starting with a full-length feature film to then splitting Winnie the Pooh into 3 separate featurettes. The Disney company has now come full circle and is finally bringing Walt's original dream to life, a full-length feature titled The Mini Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Today we're talking all there is to know about the classic, like the music and all the facts you could ever want to know. I'm sure there are facts
the gold mine
about the 100-acre wood residents and Pooh Bear, down to the smallest of little animals. We're all in for one willy-nilly silly of an episode.
You've got that right. Biggest question here is, are Pooh ready? It's time to make it magical. You like it.
Huh.
Let's get into some more Pooh talk.
We're finally here. We're finally talking the mini adventures of Winnie the Pooh.
It only took us 5 episodes to get here.
And when Emily says through me at the top of the show that there will be facts galore, there's enough facts, I think, where this is a 2-part breakdown.
I think so. And
so let's
I think finally after that, we will actually get to watching
let's
many adventures.
do some accounting on the Winnie the Pooh series here. We've done 3 episodes just for the feature. 4 episodes to date.
Yes.
1 introducing Pooh, 3 on the featurettes, and now finally we're rehashing what we've done previously, kind of technically.
I have to say that?
What?
You are welcome.
You are Pooh-come.
That doesn't work.
You are well pooed.
Well
Sorry,
pooed.
I don't know. All right, let's get into mouse.
I say poo-poo to your
Okay,
puns.
let's get into mousekeeping. Enough of this.
Yeah, not a whole lot
ridiculousness.
today. We'll just get through this pretty quickly.
Yeah, we're having a quiet week here. Emily has some clients in Disneyland. They've been
woohoo. They're saying poo-hoo, poo-ray.
We've gotten some pictures back. We've seen some little kids soaked on Tiana's, looking like they're having the trip of a lifetime.
Oh yeah, that's the best part is getting the pictures.
We are eagerly anticipating our next trip to Disneyland, which is coming soon.
Wait, I don't think we've really even said that on the show, have we?
Well, I don't think so. Fun fact, everyone. Of course,
this is where we're dropping the news?
I'm surprised that we haven't
mentioned. We're going to wait until make it like a drop in a bomb and surprise everyone.
I thought we had already mentioned it.
No, I don't think we have.
Oh, we're going to be in the parks end of July. We're going to go and we're going for my birthday.
Mm-hmm. And Disneyland's birthday.
Because we're both kind of old, but young at heart.
Always young at heart. Yes,
but yeah,
you both look so good for your age.
We'll be in Disneyland. So if you're there, whenever we're there and you happen to see us, say hi, but don't scream at us because that will make us feel, we'll get a little weirded out just because, we're socially awkward.
We're just awkward.
Not because it wouldn't be cool. It's just we're awkward.
I can't wait. There's so many exciting things for the 70th.
Emily's been making lists.
I have a huge list. There's so much to do.
Can't wait. I've been making slightly different lists, but
how many times are we going to see the Walt show? I need to see. Oh, I can't wait.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's get into mousekeeping and get this show on the road.
So let's continue this excitement further.
Yeah.
We have a new Apple Podcast review. This one says, great for Disney. Speaking of Disney trips, great for Disney trips. 5 stars. I love this podcast. It's a perfect listen to get you in the mood for your next Disney vacation. And this comes from Sarah. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
We like hearing that. That's very nice.
We're getting ourselves pumped up, and yeah, we hope that you're getting pumped.
Us excited for Disney vacation.
Yeah, we're going to Disney.
Yeah.
I'm
going to Disneyland.
I told my boss that I was taking
Disneyland is your favorite place on earth.
Well, I told my boss that I was taking time off in a month, and he goes, "Where are you going?"
He's like, "Let me guess."
He's like,
Disney.
"Let me guess." He's like, "Disneyland." I'm like, "Yeah."
Like, am I that predictable?
He's like, "Huh." I'm like, "Well, technically there was a trade-off for this trip, so we're just, one for me, one for her. You know what I mean? Happy wife, happy life.
You really get the win in the end, though. You get to go to Disneyland.
Yeah, I get a double win.
Yeah,
I get a double win. Okay. Also, In support world, we have a new space ranger. Double checks the notes. We have a new space ranger. Mm-hmm. We would like to welcome Stephanie. Thank you for joining over on Patreon.
Yeah, becoming part of the MIM crew. That's super exciting.
Part of the MIM crew. We appreciate you over there. You'll have your jetpack shipped to you.
Okay, we're not made of money here. I don't think we can ship jetpacks.
We got to figure out how
your
USPS will take that. Yeah, your blaster gun. I think that's probably just as financially hard.
You'll get some smaller things than that. You'll
get a sticker that is in fact a jetpack, but
no. We don't have those either.
Okay, now that Emily continuously cuts me off in the knees on this.
That's so nice, though. Yes, thank you for all the support, everyone. And of course, if you do like what we are doing on our show, that is a great way, if you haven't already, to leave a rating review on Apple Podcasts, or just a review on, or just a rating, just a rating on Spotify. Those go a great deal to help out the show, push us to more people, and of course, it makes us feel really good.
Yeah, and if you'd like to support monetarily and get some bonus content eventually, and sometimes we do Patreon
and Magic Mail.
So we do a lot of anniversary gifts, all kinds of stuff. We try to make it worth your value if you do support the show, because whatever we make on that show just helps us continue to make the show. Surprisingly, we still have our day jobs.
Yes, that helps pump more magic into the show, as I like to say.
Yeah. Now one other last way, we've been talking a lot of travel here already.
Oh yeah, this is perfect.
If you want to kind of support the show while also getting to go have a very fun Disney vacation, look no further. Emily is your travel agent extraordinaire. All of her services would be free to you. So if you are looking to get the most bang or the most magic out of your next Disney trip, look no further. Head on and reach out to her.
Absolutely.
DM us on Instagram over at Make It Magical Pod, or give us an email, makeitmagicalpod@gmail.com. And she'd love to get you squared away on a fantastic Disney vacation.
It's true. I would love it. When I can't be in the parks, that is my favorite thing to do. Helping others plan their trips and make them have the most magical time.
Now, let's head on over to What Would Walt Do? And let's figure out who we are celebrating today. I took a sneak peek. This
Cheater.
One looks like a winner.
It's a good one. It's a real winner. There's certainly an honesty and an innocence to these Pooh characters. They aren't putting anything over on anybody. They don't try to put anything over on each other. They're very honest with each other. I think they believe in each other and care for each other. And I think the kids could get a wonderful lesson from that, and so can grown-ups. Oh,
if only we were just all a little bit more like Pooh, I think.
This is a quote from one of the 9 old men. Ollie Johnston, one of Walt's. I'm too excited. One of Walt's right-hand men.
Okay.
It's not so sweet.
That is very, very sweet. I'm a big Ollie Johnston fan. He's done a lot of work on a lot of my favorite films.
True story.
Okay.
Let's get into the bulk of today's episode, where we're actually continuing and finally starting to talk about the many adventures of Winnie the Pooh.
Now we're rating Wikipedia here. Let's talk about some Winnie the Pooh facts. These aren't
all from Wikipedia.
I know, I was just joking. These are all the things that you want to know and definitely memorize, because they could potentially show up on your Disney Cruise trivia. Several of these.
You just want to impress people and spout a cool fact, and then someone's like, wow, I'm so impressed by you.
Where'd you learn that?
This is how you do it. This is how you win people over.
Yeah. Where did you learn that?
Or they'll be like, wow, why do you know all this?
I learned it from my favorite Disney podcast, and then you give them our name. So just let's start a real grassroots campaign for this.
Please help us.
Please help us. We're like your dad, except he forgets what the name of the show is like half the time when he's talking to your Emily's dad will like strike up a conversation with individuals.
He basically makes friends with any person on earth.
He makes friends with strangers very quickly. He'll somehow find most of the Disney fans, but will sometimes forget to mention the fact that his kids have a Disney podcast that's been running for several years. So,
that's okay.
It's let's word of mouth. Okay.
Yes.
So we've had 3 Winnie the Pooh featurettes: Winnie the Pooh and the Honey Tree, Winnie the Pooh and the Blustery Day, which won an Oscar.
Yep.
And Winnie the Pooh and Tigger 2. But now it's time for the mini adventures of Winnie the Pooh, a full-length feature animated film that would release in 1977.
Yeah, so this is coming 3 years off the tails, or should I say Tigger tail, of Winnie the Pooh and Tigger 2.
Now, big important one.
This is big. You got to remember this.
Is really
if you want to one up people on Disney Cruise
I'm not entirely sure that they would use this tagline on Disney because it's a little bit too easy. But Disney movie poster taglines are a big trivia question.
They're a stumper because no one knows them.
Because those are the tough ones. So here for Winnie the Pooh, the mini adventures of Winnie the Pooh. I think they've actually used this tagline several times, but it is hip hip hooray.
Yeah.
Even Disney's getting into the Disney puns. So
that's why I love Disney so much. They have the same kind of humor I do.
The film was the first in the main Disney canon to be a package film since The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad, which was released in 1949, and it would also be the last.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it feels like it could be a good.
That's a good trivia question.
Yeah. It's a good trivia question, but it also seems like it could be something that they could explore in the future.
That's an easy way to put a film together.
Yeah.
Just do a couple independent stories and they can just do a loosey-goosey connection, make it a full feature.
This is, we know one of the listeners of the show's favorite year when it comes to Disney movies because this was the second time and the first time since 1940 that Disney released 2 animated features in the same year.
Whoa.
In 1940 was Pinocchio and Fantasia. And fun fact, did you know that Fantasia premiered in San Francisco?
Yeah, fun fact, we didn't know that.
We did not know that until our most recent trip to the Walt Disney Family Museum.
I tried looking it up because I'm like, why have I never heard of this? Yeah. It sounds like it was on a road show, so it had different premiere areas.
Oh, interesting.
And San Francisco was one of the cities. Pretty cool. So like New York was a big one too.
At not to bury the lead too much, but at the Walt Disney Family Museum, they have like this trivia thing.
Oh, it's great. It's like a scavenger hunt.
Yeah, it's like a scavenger hunt. We technically got one wrong, but that's okay.
Free scavenger. Well, I guess you have to pay for museum admission, but free activity to do with your admission.
You don't have to pay if you're a member. That's kind of how that works, right?
But support the museum.
The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, or The Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, would release with The Rescuers. So both of those movies released in 1977.
What else you got for me?
The Mini Adventures of Winnie the Pooh technically holds the bittersweet and distinct honor of being the last film to have any involvement with Walt Disney, which was what we mentioned during the Blustery Day episode, with the first short, Winnie the Pooh and the Honey Tree, released during his lifetime, and the second short, Winnie the Pooh and the Blustery Day, being released and after his passing, but being received with extreme success. He was without question one of the biggest, if not the biggest, guiding forces behind its development. He really set the foundation on how the studio could proceed with making the Winnie the Pooh and Tigger 2 completely without him. So he basically set him up for success.
Absolutely. It's an interesting thought to ponder here. What if Walt wasn't involved as much as he was with Winnie the Pooh? Would they have been able to pull this off? I don't know, because he was a pretty heavy factor here in getting them set up with these first 2 shorts. They took it upon themselves without him to really come up with the story and everything having to do with Tigger 2 for the most part. But they had previous things to work off of from him. So it's just an interesting thought. How would it have been if we had lost Walt sooner? Felt like a tongue twister.
Yeah, I know what you mean. That's a big what if question they can ask the Disney. What happens if we lost him later? There's a bunch of what ifs there.
This is also kind of a sad bit of a marking point here. The film opens with Walt Disney Presents as opposed to Walt Disney Productions, as most Disney films in the 1970s had. This makes a lot of sense when you understand all of this history. It just confirms further that Walt was just as much a part of the making of the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, rather than it being something made without him. So all the movies after this, it would switch over to those opening credits with Walt Disney Productions, because it's no longer Walt Disney Presents, since he was no longer involved.
It's a very fitting way to open the film.
I love that. His name is still attached to it since he was part of it. It's so sweet. And what is interesting about the film poster for Many Adventures, it is the exact same one that was used for Winnie the Pooh and the Blustery Day, except they obviously just changed the movie title.
Didn't they throw the Tigger from the Me Too, the Tigger 2? Or is that...
No, Tigger 2 is a different poster.
Oh.
He's holding, because on the Tigger 2, it's just Winnie the Pooh and Tigger. This one comes directly from Blustery Day, hence Piglet sky high like a kite with his cute little scarf blowing in the winds. I love him.
Okay, let's talk soundtrack. What movie is a movie? cinema masterpiece without some music. And if we're talking Disney soundtracks from this time and age, that can only mean that a specific set of two brothers, one wore blue and one wore gray. Maybe, technically. Maybe one day they decided to wear blue and
one
a gray
wore
suit.
red and one wore green. No?
And of course, we're talking about the Sherman Brothers.
I thought you were like, of course I'm talking about the song from The Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln. Or The American Adventure.
I mean, yeah, let's admit, did you have any idea where I was going with it?
As soon as you said two brothers, I knew you were going to start singing that. That's your jam for some reason.
Hey, American Adventure is a great show.
And Lincoln.
I want more of those shows. I would love.
So what we need to do, let's bring our time machine back into this episode. Yes. We just need to go back in time to like old Epcot.
We need a Carousel of Progress type show in Disneyland.
It's required. Come on.
And apparently
Disney 75th or the 80th, and maybe not. Let's not wait till the 80th. Let's get this puppy going.
And maybe
put that in Tomorrowland.
And maybe apparently a return of Captain EO.
Oh, put that in too. Yes.
Emily's dad, like we said, is in Disneyland, and this is their final day, and we are getting constant reminders because he is wearing his Father's Day gift, which is a Captain EO shirt from Park Hop Tees. User code. What's our code?
Magical Pod 20.
Magical Pod 20. He is the talk of the town down there. We're getting
people are loving that shirt.
We're getting a minute by minute recap of every time someone says a good thing about a shirt. We've gotten 4 so far.
Clearly the people have spoken. They also want Captain EO back. Let's do it.
Yes. Let's
Sherman Brothers.
Talk about the Sherman Brothers. So this movie has 11 songs in it.
Yeah, it's very impressive. All tracks were actually written by the Sherman Brothers as well. We had mentioned Buddy Baker was the composer for this film. So what kind of songs are we dealing with here? And I'm curious to know which ones you've actually heard before.
Well, I'm pretty sure I've heard Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, I hope you would have.
Winnie the Pooh.
The opening song.
Up, down, touch the ground sounds familiar. Rumbly, my tumbly. Little Black Rain Cloud.
The way you're saying this, it sounds like, yes, you're familiar with
A Rather Blustery Day, maybe a little bit. The wonderful thing about Tigger's.
One, Mind Over Matter.
That one doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know what that one. Heffalumps and Woozles. I think that's in the ride.
Yeah, and you'll notice, look at the name of who sang this song.
The Mellowmen. Well, look.
Does that sound familiar?
No, but let's talk about them now. Look at that.
No, wait, get through the rest of the songs and we'll get into them in a second.
I don't know any of the other ones.
The Rain, Rain, Rain Came Down, Down, Down.
I guess except that's in the ride. That one's in the ride.
That is.
Partially in the ride.
You should kind of know it. We also have Hip Hip Hooray. And then Reprise?
Yeah.
Reprise?
The reprise.
One of the two. The wonderful thing about Tiggers.
Let's talk, as we mentioned, Heffalumps and Woozles, who was performed. That's the other P word. By the Mellowmen.
Who formed?
The Mellowmen were a popular singing quartet active from the late 1940s through the mid 1970s, and they were founded by Disney legend.
Oh, baby.
You've heard his voice wherever you go.
Smooth, deep voice.
You've heard it in a ghostly manner.
That's very haunting.
You've heard it with some frosted flakes.
You heard it in the Tiki Room.
Because I couldn't think of another ride that had his voice in it.
If you've been on Splash Mountain, you would have heard it in How Do You Do?
This is Thurl Ravenscroft, who is a Disney legend. He and the founder of the Mellowmen.
Yeah.
Thurl Ravenscroft is the singing bus that's been... He's the broken head off. Right?
He's the one that people think looks like Walt Disney.
Yeah, he's the one.
The lead bust.
He's the lead bust.
Yes. Isn't this a great picture of them with Walt?
Yeah.
Can you guess which one's Thurl Ravenscroft?
The one with the mustache.
Yeah, the tall one. Well, there's multiple mustaches. What do you mean the one with the mustache? All of them except one has a mustache.
Well, I'm technically correct then.
The tallest one, yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. I mean, I was technically correct.
I guess that's a good way to guess. Give an attribute that everyone has.
But let's go back in time where the crazy sideburn, what are these called?
Mutton chops.
Mutton chops.
Those are insane.
There are some insane mutton chops in this picture.
Those mutton chops are screaming, boom, baby.
All right, let's talk some cast of characters, or lovable cast of characters. As with any form of Disney animation, casting the perfect voice actors is key. in making the characters have believability and immerse you into the world. It's no easy feat finding the right person to capture the essence of the role, especially for Pooh, the main character. We got a regular
main man.
Wooly Reitherman really wanted to capture the essence and charm of the Pooh characters, and a huge challenge was doing this in a way the books couldn't, giving them an audible voice for the first time. And this is something that I definitely, because if you are very connected to a book, you have a internal voice for that character that you create. And then when they eventually sometimes adapt those ones, it's
hard to separate what you've envisioned for so long to finally see it come alive on screen. If it doesn't meet up to those expectations you've made, you could be a bit let down.
Yeah. Wooly Reitherman explained sincerity is an all-important factor, even though our characters are caricatured.
You really struggled with that.
That was a tough word. They have to have warmth.
I think it's the doubling up of character plus caricature to having to do that back to back.
Plus, I can't ever think of reading caricatured with a D. That's interesting. They have to have warmth in actors with trick, gimmicky deliveries come off as too hokey for our particular needs. We wanted honesty and authenticities to really shine through. What's really interesting, even though the 3 Pooh shorts were released years apart, the voice cast essentially remained the same for all characters throughout.
Pay attention. I said the word essentially. So it does not apply at all. But for the most part, it was the entire crew that returned.
Practically,
Practically.
Yeah. A fun Disney twist of adding the narrator as a character. Ooh. Hey. I do like that twist. That's a fun twist.
It is very fun.
To really play into us as the viewers being taken into a storybook land that is the 100 Acre Woods, there was a narrator character created. He would not only function as a way to drive the story along, but would also add this great element of interacting with Pooh and friends. And I do know that he does like, hey, Pooh, what are you doing? And Pooh's like, I'm doing my thing.
It's very cute. I love this whole direction of the film.
Being Pooh here. Sebastian Cabot would fill this role perfectly, adding with him this very genteel quality as narrator. I love that word,
genteel.
It's a very this amount of sentences or words in these sentences are tripping up.
Please make this simpler.
He was best known as Mr. French in the TV series The Family Affair, which I've never heard of.
I haven't either. There's a reason why I included this fact, though.
Where he sometimes was known to read Milne's Pooh stories. Oh, on like in the show?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I thought that was interesting because he already had a Pooh connection somewhat.
What will likely be more familiar to us and our listeners, Cabot also supplied the gruff voice of Sir Eyore.
Look on your face.
And The Sword in the Stone, and Bagheera, the stern panther in the Jungle Book. Sir Eyore,
Bagheera, and the narrator and Pooh are all voiced by the same actor. How cool.
That's pretty cool.
So by the way, Sir Eyore, if you don't know, it's not like his name's mentioned a whole bunch in this Sword in the Stone. He's the one with the really big belly.
And the mustache.
No, that's a different guy.
That's the different guy.
That guy always says like, dash it tall.
Yeah, that's right. He does have a mustache. He just doesn't do the thing with the mustache.
The guy with the mustache has like silvery hair. Yeah. Sir Eyore has red hair.
Sir Eyore has a mustache though.
Yeah, but he doesn't do that.
He doesn't do the mustache thing. Yeah, you're right.
You should know this. Sword in the Stone's one of your faves.
That is one of my favorite movies. So don't
rewatch time.
Don't be disappointed in me. The British character actor even appeared on camera in Walt Disney's Johnny Tremaine, which was released in 1957, without his trademark beard, having shaved it off at the insistence of Walt himself.
Oh, it's so funny.
It's like, you got to take that off, man.
That thing's out of control.
Reitherman really stuck to making this film feel like it was taking place in a living, breathing book. Fun elements of turning pages and characters interacting with printed words combined with Cabot's genial. Oh, that's not genteel. It's spelled the exact same way.
The G words.
I'm pretty sure you have a typo here. No, genial. Off. If you were to ask me the definition of the word genteel and genial,
give me a difference.
I have no idea. Don't. Provide me with a definition. We'll take a 50-50 guess.
Either are fitting. It's just using different words.
But these were what tied everything together. That rug really tied the room together.
This was really what his personality was like, even off the screen. He was like a very lovable, mellow type of personality type.
Reitherman felt that the English actors' calming tones made Winnie the Pooh more like listening to a bedtime story. I'm just going to put you right to sleep. Just like
let me just tuck you in with a nice warm blankie, put a nightcap on you.
This narration,
here's some warm milk.
This narration helps the book come to life, he said.
It does. I fully agree. A very unfortunate and sad bit about this film. What is actually a commonality with many of the other voice actors in this film, it would also mark the final film appearance of the narrator, Sebastian Cabot. So his very final film appearance.
Sebastian Cabot.
Aren't these some great photos of him?
Like
the recording booth.
I wonder what he's doing in this first one.
He's getting into character or something. I'm not sure. Visualizing him as the narrator.
I'm visualizing it.
And then there's also a really great photo of him, Wooly Reitherman, and Larry Clemens all in one picture. Larry Clemens was a very famous story artist that worked on this film, among many others at the time. I got a laugh out of you.
Well, if it isn't old long ears himself, Rabbit.
I mean, that's what Tigger calls him in the movie.
As is quite common around this time, Disney would use a lot of the same voice actors in many of their films.
I gotta say, this is one of my favorite things about those older Disney films is like trying to listen for, wait, this sounds familiar. What other character do I know this voice from?
Eleanor Audley, Emily, who?
We got the wicked stepmother in Cinderella. We also got Maleficent. Oh, yeah. She also supplies the voice for Madame Leota in Haunted Mansion. Boom, boom, bam, baby. Oh, I'm sorry. Not wicked stepmother. Her real name is Lady Tremaine.
Boom, boom, bam, baby.
Hey, that is my catchphrase. I do say it a lot more now.
So for the role of Rabbit, they would look no further than someone who had displayed an outstanding performance as the crotchety, curmudgeonly owl Archimedes in 1963's The Sword in the Stone.
Did you know that?
I didn't. Of course I didn't know that. What are you talking about? Of course I didn't know that. Archimedes is the real OG. The modern day version of this would be Alan Tudyk.
Yes.
Yes. He's all the little random characters now in all their movies.
Yeah. But I want to say this actor's the equivalent. There are a lot of people like this back in the day.
Yeah, no, that's, yeah.
I guess he's the only one,
He's the only one, really, that I know.
I'm the only one. What?
Oh, I was like, what is that from?
That's
wait,
Tigger.
That's for Tigger, yeah. That character actor was Junius
Matthews.
Junius Matthews. He was actually in his mid-70s when he was cast as Rabbit. Oh, wow. When production began on Tigger 2 a decade later, the Disney animators assured Matthews would no longer be interested given his age. But when they were unable to find a fitting replacement, they decided to give him a call. They're like,
who are you going to call?
Boop, 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 boop,
Junius
boop.
Matthews. That doesn't quite flow as well as Ghostbusters.
It does still work, though, better than probably what I was trying to do.
You know, I would aspire to being in my 70s and still wanting to do voice acting. What a great life.
Oh, you don't see us doing this in our 70s? When I was a younger Disney fan, are we at the airport, Emily?
Who are you?
Apparently, I need to eat some more vegetables because my brain is going and I'm in the 70s. So not only did they come to discover that he was available, but was also just as vibrant and brimming with that perfectionist and irritable energy of Rabbit. Junius Matthews had a very long career on Broadway and later voice acting with Disney. His first role was as Scotty in 101 Dalmatians, but his final work would forever be attributed to his performance as Rabbit.
Yeah, so it's another bittersweet one of those voice actors. This was also his final film.
Let's talk Mr. Owl. What's Owl? Does Owl do anything peculiar?
He just knows a whole lot and continues talking and talking and talking.
Oh, so he's you.
Ouch. I mean, you talk a lot, Emily. In reality, I don't. And outside of the podcast.
Yeah, trying to get any words out of you is like trying to pull teeth.
Unless you bring up Disney, then you can't shut me up.
Yeah.
Like, enough.
Hal Smith was very experienced working in the world of animation, lending his voice to series like The Yogi Bear Show, The Bugs Bunny Show, and The Garfield series. became acquainted with Disney when they needed someone to fill in the void that was left when certain Disney legends had passed on from Disney. Al Smith was able to distort his voice whenever they needed someone to fill in for those roles. He would take over for Pinto Colvig, the voice of Goofy, Grumpy, and Sleepy.
Oh, this is really interesting.
Hal ended up voicing Goofy for decades between the years of 1967 and 1987. That's another Disney connection. Hal, just remember that when you're on your Disney cruise, name a voice actor, or who's a voice actor that also. I don't know how to ask this question in a way that like makes sense.
It's like 3 sentences long.
Yeah. His first originated role was Al in the Winnie the Pooh and the Honey Tree, and would continue voicing this character until his passing in 1994. He would even reprise his earlier career with Disney and take over the role of Winnie the Pooh and Kaa the Snake for a few brief years following the death of Sterling Holloway.
And Sterling Holloway, if you could probably not already put together from that sentence, he is or was the voice of Kaa and Winnie the Pooh. Very cool, huh?
Yeah, very cool.
A man of many voice acting hats, I guess you could say.
That's not me. I'm not any of those hats.
So let's talk about a little mother and son duo, Kanga and Roo. So we'll start off with Kanga first. Barbara Luddy was a Disney veteran whose soft yet enthusiastic voice was featured in 8 Disney films through the 1950s to the 1970s. Barbara being best known for portraying Lady in Lady and the Tramp in 1955. I didn't know Kanga was also the voice of Lady. What? You haven't seen Lady and the Tramp, so you're also like, what?
What?
She also played Merryweather in Sleeping Beauty.
Merryweather is the blue?
Yes, the blue one.
Oh.
Okay, quick. Who's the reddish, orangish one?
Flora.
Yeah.
And the green one is Fauna.
Good job.
Okay.
Flora, Fauna, Merryweather. Well done. And she was also the voice of Rover in 101 Dalmatians. Her last non-Pooh Disney feature was as the Mother Rabbit in Robin Hood.
Yeah.
How cool.
Arms for the poor.
I mean, Robin Hood's the one that says that.
Yeah, I know.
She was offered the role as Kanga as her sweet motherly voice provided the perfect amount of calmness that Kanga needed to balance out the other characters. As with many others, the many adventures of Winnie the Pooh would be her final acting appearance. Now we'll go on to her little son, Roo, cute little guy in her pouch. In his initial 1966 appearance, Roo was voiced by Clint Howard. Now pay attention to that last name there, Clayton, because, he ended up actually being the brother of, I don't know, a certain Ron Howard. Does that ring any bells to you?
It would be a certain uncle to Bryce Dallas Howard. No?
Good job.
Empty room here? Empty room?
Anyone? He would, early in his career, he would actually appear in many Ron Howard films, too.
He's been in, like, Star Trek?
Okay, do you want to say this next part?
No, I'm just trying to figure out who he is.
He would go on to appear in an impressive amount of movies and series like the Star Trek incarnations, Live Long and Prosper, Apollo 13, Seinfeld, Arrested Development, the movie Splash, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, Austin Powers, the list goes on.
Yeah, but do you know who this is?
No.
Have you seen a picture of him?
No.
This is Clint Howard.
Wait, what? Yeah, I know who that is.
Yeah.
What?
That's actually
I'm screaming. I'm sorry, listeners. I'm screaming.
It's actually insane. I didn't know this.
We'll have to include a picture in the video because
I
feel like a lot of people would probably recognize him.
Yeah, he's that guy.
He's that guy. He's like the guy who's in a lot of stuff. You recognize him. You don't know his name.
I think Ron won out a little bit in the look view, but
but it's not all about looks. It's what's also inside.
I think the reason why you would never imagine it is because they look absolutely almost like nothing alike.
Yeah.
I mean, Ron maybe is getting there, but you never picture that. These are
my favorite moments in the show where I blow your mind.
200 credit. You know how many movies I've seen this guy in? And now I only know that he's that guy.
What are some other ones But like, can you think of any off the top of your head that he's in?
So yeah, he's in Waterboy.
Oh, jeez.
He's in Apollo 13.
I said that already.
I know. I'm trying to think. He's in The Grinch.
I said that already.
I know.
Stop repeating the ones I said.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry.
We'll just move on then.
Okay.
Okay. Let's go back to the past now. Little Clint Howard as a young boy. It was only at the age of 7 years old that he would play the part of Kanga's son, Roo, and would continue playing that character until 1977. So, when The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh came out.
His final appearance.
Yes, he wouldn't continue Roo.
He's not passed. He's still with us. It was just his final.
Also, the character of Roo is meant to always be a young little boy. So that wouldn't work if like a middle-aged man was supplying the voice.
And I'm just thinking,
are you about to do an impression of like an old man as Roo?
Yeah, but I was trying to think of how to do it from and the mayor will win the crown from Grinch, because that's like the one line of this guy says that it's like prominently stuck in my head. But I'm trying to think about what would that be for the Pooh version of it. And I got nothing.
And nothing. By the time it came to making Tigger 2, Roo would now be voiced by someone entirely different. So obviously go back in time, and it can be kind of confusing because we're jumping around all over the place. But Winnie the Pooh and the Honey Tree is obviously the first part, so that's where Clint Howard became involved. And then we have Blustery Day, finally Tigger 2, so that's when we got rid of Clint Howard and moved on to a new voice actor. This would actually be a female voice actor. So Roo was actually voiced by a male and female at one point within The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh.
Fun fact.
Very fun fact. So this voice actor was Dory Whittaker. And yeah, there's actually a very cool picture here of Dory Whittaker with story artist Larry Clemens. It looks like he's giving her some coaching for voice acting.
Can you be a little bit cuter, please? I need cute eviction from my
It's like,
Pooh.
I'm wearing bows in my hair. What more do you need from me? I'm wearing braids.
How cute do you want me to be here? Sickeningly cute, or?
We need more Roo out of you. One more fun fact to get ready for this, Clayton.
I'm ready.
Or more of a fun connection.
You might say a Pooh-nection.
Pooh-nection. Barbara Luddy, again, that was the voice of Kanga, mother of Roo. She was also the voice of Mother Rabbit, as we said, in Robin Hood, whose character was the mother of Tagalong in that film, who coincidentally was voiced by Dory Whittaker, the voice of Roo. So they were mother, daughter, son pairing in two different Disney movies.
Tagalong is...
I think she's the one who's like carrying that little rabbit doll on the ground.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that's
I thought
cool.
you'd be more impressed by that.
That's very cool. What?
Kanga and Roo again together?
Sorry,
Robin Hood?
I can only do so many reactions.
What?
Reaction. Okay.
Reaction. I need more out of you, Clayton. Reaction.
Please give me more. Emily's over there like... When we're about to sit and record,
maybe
Emily's
I'm also like Tigger in the podcast studio because I'm bouncing off the walls with excitement.
She's like, you're not giving me enough.
I need more.
I need more.
I need more emotion.
I need more. Like, I'm giving all I got.
I'm exhausted.
I'm tired. I'm an old man.
Give me a break.
I'm like 6 years older than you. No, I'm not
You're
6.
Not 6 years older than me.
5 years. Right?
Did I got this right?
Let's add a brand new character to the 100-acre wood, one that does not exist in the book.
Correct.
Gopher. Richard Sherman recalled that the animators and Walt wanted to have at least one kind of an American character, and Gopher is very much that, an American animal. They probably made this decision to help alleviate some of Walt's worries about exposing American audiences to a story and type of humor in the world of Pooh that they hadn't really been exposed to or accustomed to previously.
Seems like that was a very hard balance. They're struggling with trying to hook people into the world of Pooh
while also not...
who had never seen it before, but they also didn't want to offend a
long-time
different type
Pooh
of
fans.
Culture and public that already loved Pooh dearly.
Yeah.
So it's kind of... seems like a very hard balancing act.
There was also an effort to bring in comedy, and a lot of that was done through the character of Gopher. Everyone working the film was really pleased with Gopher as a new audition, but they were worried, particularly in England, that there were a lot of Poohophiles, and Disney was very fearful of upsetting this or not representing the character in the world of Pooh that they had held in such high regard. Basically, Walt didn't want to upset or offend the public, and they were adding to in this brand new character to their beloved and cherished story. So what was the game plan? How would they tackle this? How are we going to get this character in here with no one
being upset,
freaking out? And if we know how people can be, it could be a bit freaky. Stuff like this.
Freaky.
Larry Clemens, who was a story artist, actually came up with this idea to have Gopher pop out of his Gopher hole saying, "I'm not in the book, but I'm at your service." That's
Gopher's the name.
Gopher's the name. Oh, sorry. Gopher's the name. That is...
Don't you love this?
Genius.
That is genius.
I mean, you're already doing this whole storybook thing. Just break the wall. Say, hey, look, I'm not really here technically in the book, but I'm here now, baby.
At your pleasure.
At your pleasure. It very much was this spontaneous idea, and everyone loved it. Even I loved it. It was
Clayton just got a kick
and
out of it.
I haven't even seen the movie yet. This was incredibly clever double meaning where Gopher's really saying he's not in the phone book, but also a cheeky wink to the audience that he's quite literally not in the actual book.
Oh, that's so great. And the fact that it was just in some kind of story pitch meeting.
Yeah.
Larry Clemens just threw out like, hey, why don't we just literally have him say that? That would be great.
Remember phone books?
Yeah.
Do you have phone books?
The Yellow Pages?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a wild time. Some kids these days will just never know.
I'll just never understand.
You could go look yourself up in a phone book, be like, oh, yeah, that's my number, which I did several times every time I got a new phone book.
There I am in print.
There we are.
Like my name is in lights.
Who would fill the role for this very American and comedic role? Howard Morris, that's who, or should we say that's Pooh?
Keep going. What?
It wasn't that funny. What are you doing? No,
it's more about what I have written after this.
Wait, this is confusing. This is Gopher we're talking about, not Pooh. You're welcome, Clayton. What is this? Here's a live look at my stream of consciousness. Okay, back to Howard Morris. Emily.
This is how I think while I'm writing.
Emily,
I just kept this in. I'm crying.
Emily, you're getting
this is how I amuse this is why I have so much fun with the podcast.
This is Emily's sense of humor.
Ooh, I'm on fire right now. I mean, I'm not like I'm on a roll. I'm literally burning up because I'm laughing so much.
Plus, it's also, we've finally gotten to the hot parts of the year. Howard Morris had a very illustrious career.
You get all that right.
Yeah, I get it. We're not talking about Pooh. We're talking about Gopher, and Howard Morris is the Gopher.
Okay.
If you're listening to this, I need help.
Please don't listen to him. He likes it.
If you're listening to this, I need some help.
You married this for a reason, buddy.
Well,
you like this.
This wasn't in the marriage contract.
You like it.
Whatever's going on here was not in the marriage contract.
Cuckoo.
This was not what I signed up for technically. Whatever's going on, you're evolving into
everything you've ever wanted in your life.
You're evolving into this. You just gestured at all of me. Yeah, exactly. Howard Morris had a very illustrious career in creating and starring in countless iconic series and films. He made his way into the voice acting department with his features in the iconic 1980s McDonald's commercials as Mayor McCheese and the Hamburglar.
I don't know why. I just wanted to include this because it's been so long since I've thought about the Hamburglar.
It's been so long since
Grimace.
I think we know when we all started to go downhill a little bit is when the McDonald's got rid of the Mc characters.
They were so much fun.
You know,
the Hamburglar, how fun.
Now when you go to get a kid's meal, it's all this kitschy stuff that doesn't last very long. Back in the day, you were.
When was the last time you've gone to McDonald's?
I'm just saying, back in the day.
Back in my day,
you could get the Batman mug. Oh, didn't we find one of those?
Do you remember
recently?
all those Disney cups, like the collectible ones that were just so amazing?
I remember having the Batman glass mug for Batman, and
I had the Disney ones. Shocker.
I had the Batman ones. Shocker.
Shocker. I grew up in a Disney family. Who knew?
His voice was even featured in cartoons like The Flintstones, The Jetsons. I almost said The Jetstones, and The Archies. Who was he in The Flintstones, Emily?
I don't know. I can only do so much research, man.
Of course, he would land the role as Gopher, who really brought a new dynamic to Pooh's 100-acre crew and added so much more depth to the story of Pooh getting stuck in Rabbit's house. I think you're infecting me with the nonsense. Karoo. I think you're really just trying to.
And then you're enhancing yourself as
enhancing myself.
Yes, you're leveling up here, Clayton.
I think it's an infection.
One interesting thing, you haven't seen Lady and the Tramp, so it won't really make as much sense to you. But eventually we will watch it and you'll be like,
just remember,
I remember this.
Remember this when we put that on top of the to-do list. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a character in it. I don't know if he actually has a name. He's a beaver character. Looks exactly the same as Gopher. Has the same big characteristic. The like weird kind of like whistling he does. That's Gopher's identifying feature. Sounds pretty much the exact same. Also does the whistling. So it was like the beaver was taken from that and turned into Gopher for this.
Okay. Well, we're just knocking off these characters piece by piece. So, of course, that could mean only one thing. It's time to talk about everyone's sad favorite donkey, Mr. Eyore. Ralph Wright was a longtime Disney animator who had been with the studio since the late 1930s. He wore many hats around the studio, including writer, animator, director, and actor.
Man, imagine if you could say you've done all of that.
I've done it all. He started off.
Yeah, I guess that's what you would say. I've done it all.
I've done it all. He started out in the storyboard department, putting concepts together for short films and feature-length films, including Bambi, Peter Pan, and The Lady and the Tramp. He was chosen to provide the gloomy voice for Eyore and brought the character to life. When he got the role, this is Emily speaking, I like to imagine him saying to Walt, "Thanks for noticing me."
No, you got to say, "Thanks for noticing me."
Thanks for noticing me. He voiced Eyore all the way up until his passing in 1983 at the age of 75. Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh marks the second to last appearance of actor Ralph Wright. He would return one more time as the voice of Eyore in Winnie the Pooh in a Day for Eyore, which was released 6 years later. We'll talk more about that in a different episode.
I didn't even know about this short. What is going on? So I can't even elaborate on it because that's going to be part of a new episode.
Okay, now we've talked who could possibly be left to talk about in the 100-acre crew. If it's not Winnie the Pooh's main man, his villain is
it's not a villain.
No, his sidekick.
You villainize one of my favorites.
I meant to be his chillin' villain sidekick.
His compadre.
His kites.
His brotato chip.
Piglet. Yeah, that actually works really well. His brotato chip Piglet kind of works. It's not too far out there.
Okay. He's just a small little animal.
I'm just a small little animal.
Okay, I know you haven't seen the movie yet. Who's your favorite Pooh character? Piglet's mine.
I like how you're like, you haven't seen this. You have no connection to any of these characters.
Well, you have to. You've been on the ride how many times? Or do you not know? You need to watch, or do you just need to watch the movie?
I think I need to watch the movie.
Piglet is so cute. I love him. Piglet reminds me of Belle.
So
my kitty growing up, she was like my first cat. And she, like, I always just imagine she would say, "I'm a small little animal," because she was the runt of the litter.
She was a small little animal.
She was so petite and dainty and so cute. Doesn't she give you Piglet vibes?
Yeah, she does. Piglet's endearing, hesitant, and stammering voice was performed by John Fiedler. He was typecast in his early career as being more quiet and the nerdy characters with his fluty voice. Juror number 2 in 12 Angry Men.
Can we watch that, please?
Does that mean that?
Can we please watch it?
Because I need
to watch it because I've only seen it once and I can't picture who he is in it.
He's the little one. Can
we please watch it?
I like how I keep saying he's the little one.
That's not gonna help.
I know exactly which one he is because of the voice now. I see it.
Piglet's in that movie.
I see it 100% now. I see it 100%. I remember talking to Emily and I'll be like, let's watch this movie. And Emily's like, "Oh, it's in black and white."
Well, it was actually on our list because we had bought this poster. I've not really succeeded at this. My goal is to watch more movies and expand my knowledge.
And what did we do last night?
There's a ton of movies I have not seen. That was one of them on the list. And you're like, "Oh, let's do this one." And I really wasn't sure if I would enjoy it or not.
We could have watched it.
But I did. I love 12 Angry Jerks.
We could have watched it. 12 Angry Jerks?
I said 12 Angry Jerks.
Well, you guys
12
are
Angry Men. I'm sorry.
You know, you 12 Angry Men. You guys are a bunch of real 12 Angry Jerks. Yeah, we could have watched a new movie last night. What did we watch? We rewatched Inception. Bomb. If you haven't seen 12 Angry Men, highly.
I was like, what is the name of this movie?
Highly recommend it. It has got to be considered as one of the greatest movies of all time.
I loved it.
Considering it literally takes place in one scene and it is absolutely gripping. And it's got Piglet's voice actor in it.
Yeah, even better. Which, you know, it can be really hard to pull off a movie like that and make it interesting. Yeah. Where it's just in a room of people trying to decide.
That's like all the performance, baby. None of this CGI nonsense.
No.
Fiedler performed the voice of Piglet longer than any other members of the original. I think
he's saying Fiedler. It's Fiedler.
Fiedler, performed in the voice role of Piglet longer than any of the other members of the original Pooh cast.
Is that cool?
His last performance as the very small animal included Piglet's big movie in 2003 and Pooh's Heffalump movie released in 2005. The year this prolific Piglet-like character actor passed on. He does have a very distinct and recognizable voice. The small little animal of Piglet might just sound eerily familiar to other Disney characters like the porcupine in The Fox and the Hound, the Deacon Owl in The Rescuers.
I would have to watch it again to figure out who.
Yeah.
It's just probably one of those side, like Southern characters that lives in that little shack.
That makes sense, yeah. The Church Mouse in the Robin Hood and Rudy, Old Man Beware of the Grove in the Emperor's...
Beware of the Groove.
Oh, Beware of the Groove.
Rudy in the Emperor's New Groove. I put that there because you're probably like, who the heck is Rudy? It's the old man in the beginning and he's like, beware of the groove. That's Piglet. That is the original Piglet.
Piglet.
Yeah, I thought you'd be excited that he's in Robin Hood.
Yeah, I literally am.
He's a cute little church mouse. Oh,
arms for the poor. Christopher Robin. For a packaged film, what's most surprising is that the majority of the 100-acre cast remained the same, except for Mr. Christopher Robin. Bruce Reitherman was...
Does that sound like a familiar last name?
Son of Wooly Reitherman was the original casting choice. Now, he's the son of Wolfgang Reitherman, and he was 11 years old at the time and chosen to voice Christopher Robin. He also provided the voice of Mowgli in The Treasure Book. The Treasure Book.
What?
I have no idea.
Where are you?
I'm in a different world right now.
Are you 70 years old?
I need a coffee stat. Inject it straight in my veins. My word.
Clay, you should be wearing the shirt I'm wearing today because it says no coffee, no magic.
I need a coffee.
By the way, the shirts from Park Up Tees, our fave.
I need a coffee, please, stat.
There's no magic in
you. Oh, there's no magic. I need some magic. The Jungle Book, excuse me.
Okay, he was Mowgli in the Jungle Book, not the Treasure Book.
And fun fact, Woolly's two other sons were cast and both voiced Arthur in The Sword and the Stone, one of three voices, both of them. As you may recall from a previous episode, we mentioned that upon the release of the first Pooh featurette, Winnie the Pooh and the Honey Tree, the British audiences weren't too thrilled with the Americanization of Pooh and Christopher Robin's portrayal with too much of an American accent. You tell those Yanks over there that I'm not real happy with their choice of Christopher Robin.
Yeah.
Disney wanted to make right by Pooh and would bring in British child actor John Walmsley to now provide the voice of Christopher Robin. John Walmsley said...
I like how you're saying Walmsley. Walmsley.
Said recording came naturally to him because the character was him. I don't think so, John. His name is actually Christopher.
This is method acting. I am Christopher Robin.
Now I'm just imagining this like, how old was he?
Child actor.
Little 11-year-old child.
I am Christopher Robin.
This little 11-year-old child actor is walking over to craft services and he's just like, I'm gonna get myself a little sandwich. Well, it's like, hey, John, it's Christopher.
He's carrying Pooh. What would you like?
It's Christopher Robin, Mr. Disney.
You.
It's Christopher Robin. I'm Christopher Robin. Now I'm just imagining Pooh as I guess it's a Christopher Robin, but the method actor is Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
I'm Winnie the Pooh.
Where's my honey?
Where's my honey?
Where's my small smackerel of honey?
Christopher Robin was a little 11-year-old English boy, and so was he at the time. It was just him playing himself. We couldn't find too much on this, but another voice actor would be brought in for Christopher Robin for Tigger 2, Timothy Turner. But Emily's research found a dead end. There's even some things that Emily can't answer.
Oh, boy.
Now, when it came to
I did answer. There's a new one. Is probably just because at this point, you know, it's like similar with Roo. Christopher Robin is supposed to remain at the same age and throughout all of these shorts. So maybe John Walmsley, as Clayton likes to say, maybe his voice was changing, so they needed to go to younger and new voice actor.
That makes sense.
That's not a dead end. It's just there wasn't a lot of info.
Now, when it came to packaging all three featurettes in the full-length mini adventures of Winnie the Pooh, all of the Honey Tree portions of the film featuring Bruce Reitherman would be redubbed and replaced with John Walmsley.
No, you didn't say his last name right.
John Walmsley's new recordings. Although there are still 3 different Christopher Robins present in the film because they kept Bruce's original singing recordings in the film. Oh,
yes. Interesting
choice.
Disney cared so much about what the European audiences had to say in the UK that they decided, all right, well, we'll go back and end up just changing the voice entirely since they weren't fans of the original, more Americanized Christopher Robin.
If you're keeping track at home, we only have a few characters, 2, thankfully, left to talk about. And of course, they are probably the 2 most prominent Winnie the Pooh characters that there is.
And they have the most information about them. That's Pooh sure.
Let's start by
Pooh sure. I don't know.
Talking about someone who's got a song that goes something like this. Tigger. That spells Tigger. I'm the only one.
Well done, Clayton.
Paul Winchell was the man to capture the infectious, bouncy, trouncy energy of our beloved pal, Tigger. He was a man of many unique talents. In Winchell's earlier years, he worked as a hypnotist by helping people undergo surgery. I think generally you want an anesthesiologist to put you under, not a hypnotist.
You're feeling very sleepy.
You're feeling very sleepy. Hit me up with that good stuff. Put me out. I want to feel a little sleepy. I want to be out. Please, thank you.
If Tigger is telling you to, you listen to what he says.
This is a wild sentence.
That's why I included it.
We're about to open you up. Might as well fall asleep.
Get bouncy, trouncy in your sleep.
What kind of surgery are we talking about here?
I don't know.
That's crazy talk.
Time to go in search of Heffalumps and Woozles.
Also, an inventor with more than 40 patents. Being an inventor, he had some of his ideas being an artificial heart and a flameless cigar lighter, which are both technically things that became real life.
Yeah.
An artificial heart. I think they just
40 patents.
I wonder if an artificial heart can includes the
artificial
pacemaker.
Heart.
But I think I just read something that they put a fully artificial heart in someone or something as a test.
Maybe they call it the Paul Winchell.
Yep. Now let's hypnotize you out so we can put you down for a Paul Winchell.
You can look. Okay, so the new voice actor for Tigger is Jim Cummings. So Jim Cummings can hypnotize you asleep while you get a Paul Winchell put in you.
Yeah. A patent
I thought you would laugh at that.
No.
You just went, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Did you just zone out?
No, I was zoning in on the next statement that I had to
tuning me out.
Well, that's unfortunate.
I just imagine you literally just turning the volume down on me as you're just focusing on the screen.
No, I would never just mute you out, Emily.
Plug your ear.
No.
Never.
A patent for one of his ideas, a disposable razor, would actually be disproved or disapproved on the basis of it being considered absolutely ridiculous. That people would buy razors to throw them away after a single use.
It seems like the mentality early on of making things for single use should have been carried on into the future.
Bet you this patent clerk said, yeah, sorry, not going to be there. And then he immediately took it to Johnson & Johnson and said, you guys want this bad boy?
This Paul Winchell razor?
He became a highly acclaimed ventriloquist. Wow, this guy's...
Hey, you didn't mention how, ironically, it actually would become a huge success of an idea.
Oh, yeah, it would become a huge success.
But
yeah.
with disposable razors still being a thing today.
I thought that was a given.
I don't know. You might as well con on it.
I was... he was... I mean, what? Of course, that's a fantastic...
you go, Paul Winchell.
Yeah, you go, Paul Winchell. And you go, Emily, for doing such a good researching.
Yeah. I pulled a Emily Sullivan on this one.
Yeah. He also became a highly acclaimed ventriloquist and even had his own show called The Paul Winchell Show.
Question, what didn't he do in his lifetime?
What can't this guy do? Well, apparently he also operated many puppets, and one of his best known and loved puppets resides at the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C.
Walt Disney, D.C. Is that what you're about to say?
No.
Everything is Walt to you now.
If that's not
everything, I'm here to say everything is Walt and Disney to you now.
Yes, that's probably not true. If that's not enough, here are a few other little ditties from his life's work.
I thought you'd laugh at that.
I'm trying to keep my straightest face possible. In addition, he was a character actor in such TV classics as The Beverly Hillbillies, The Lucy Show, and The Dick Van Dyke Show.
Mary Poppins?
Oh, yeah, and he was the voice of Gargamel in The Smurfs.
I was so excited
about that. Is that the villain?
Gargamel?
That's the villain?
Yeah. Oh. Gargamel.
I know,
love the Smurfs.
I know very little about the Smurfs.
You didn't watch it growing up? I love the Smurfs.
Did not watch it growing up.
You got to be smurfing kidding me, Clayton. What the Smurf?
He was Zoomy Gummy in the Gummy Bears? Is that how you spell gummy?
Did you ever watch the Gummy Bears show?
No.
Oh, Disney Afternoon?
I never watched the
Gummy Bears. That was a great show. Gummy Bears everywhere because we are the Gummy Bears. Telling you, they don't make TV theme show songs the way they used to back in my day.
He was
Clayton.
Boomer.
Clayton, back in my day.
Back in your day.
You know, DuckTales?
DuckTales.
Tailspin. Do. No?
He was also Boomer in The Fox and the Hound. Is that the older duck?
Huh?
That's
No, he's like the pair who's trying to get the worm. The birds. You know, there's that little pipsqueak one.
Yeah.
Who talks like, hey, see? Hey, Boomer.
And a not so culturally sensitive cat in the Aristocats.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that one too much.
But his most...
not a highlight of his career, I'll just say that. Did not age well.
Was the doll, that puppet that he had, the basis for the R.L. Stine book that's with the little
it looks
puppet?
A lot like
it looks
Slappy.
a lot like it, yeah.
Okay, but of course, he's done many things. His most famous voice acting role out of all of them would, of course, be our lovable friend, Tigger.
Apparently, Walt had originally considered Disneyland park performer Wally Bogue.
I like when you're trying to pronounce names for the first time. Wally Bogue.
Wally Bogue for Tigger's voice, but ultimately, Paul Winchell was deemed to be the perfect fit.
I'm surprised you didn't ask me, who is Wally Bogue?
Who was Wally Bogue?
I'm glad you asked me, Clayton, because he's a really famous icon within Disneyland history.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Golden Horseshoe.
Tell me more.
They used to have the Golden Horseshoe Review, which was a huge deal in Disneyland's history. Like, people love the show, and Wally Bogue was the main performer in a very comedic style fashion. People loved him and did these very special bits, and it was like a Disneyland tradition to have this, which makes me question, why for the 70th have we not brought a Golden Horseshoe Review show type style thingy back?
That would require Disneyland to introduce something we like to call,
you know what?
Park entertainment.
Live entertainment is important.
Live park entertainment.
It is very important. It is the lifeblood of the parks.
Yeah.
That is what I like to say. Let's bring it back. Let's Wally Bogue it up. Let's pull a Wally Bogue Disneyland and bring more entertainment.
We need to get back on topic.
I'm just saying. You asked who Wally Bogue was. I decided I served it up.
I was going to read that there's the next line.
I have a whole book on who Wally Bogue was, Clayton.
I did not know that.
I do.
I'm going to tell you something that you're going to like to hear.
What?
Are you ready?
What? I'm excited now.
Well, I'm pretty sure your next line of your script here says something about I'm the only one. And I was going to make the joke about Paul Winchell being actually like, no, I'm actually the only one. That's me. Like me. I'm the only one. And then you wrote that down literally. So I what you could say is you're rubbing off on me, and I'm not too sure it's for the good.
So what you're saying is it's like we're just blending into one human.
No, get away from me. Get away from me.
And everything I do, you're like me.
Get away from me. Stop. No, step forward. Get away from me. Step forward.
It's the craziest.
Don't touch me.
The craziest rubbing off on me to you, Clayton. You're welcome. Okay. You are welcome.
Okay. Away.
Never.
Paul Winchell was really the only one at the time who could bring Tigger to life. Ollie Johnson said,
That does make me happy. You were going to say that when you didn't know I wrote that in the script.
Paul did a great job. His voice was full of life. His vocal performance really inspired Milt Kahl to get that real brisk timing into Tigger. Richard Sherman
sorry, what was the word you just said?
Real brisk.
Brisk. Where are you?
I'm saying real brisk timing into Tigger.
Oh, brisk. Yeah. Why are you saying brisked?
Brisk.
There's no T.
Brisk.
Like risk.
Risk.
Why you? Is this the new ghost hosts?
Brisk.
Where's the cat?
Brisk.
I can't breathe. Brisk. Okay, note to future self. I need to add brisk after ghost hosts as your intro.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
This is practice to help you get over this.
Richard Sherman, I'm 36-ish years old.
Hey, if I could turn you into a fully fledged Disney adult in a matter of
10 years.
No, because I only really started working on this with the podcast. You became like mega ultra Disney extra nerd after we started this.
Let's not throw words around like that.
Huge, major, ultimate.
Let's calm down on the words that we're using here for the describing. Let's roll back the hyperbole.
Be proud, Clayton. It's okay.
Let's roll it back a little bit.
Okay.
Let's roll it back a little bit.
I love Disney more than anything. It is okay.
I have a certain image that I'm trying to maintain here. Stop.
And that is tattered and shred to bits. Goodbye.
Stop it. Richard Sherman even said that Paul Winchell just had some.
Winchell.
Oh, I am losing it. Give me a coffee stat.
No coffee, no magic.
Yeah, just had something in him to keep the bounce of a character right out of the screen, and that he had something truly special.
Oh, truly Tiggerific, Clayton.
When asked what he loved most about Tigger, Paul Winchell said he really couldn't pinpoint one thing, if anything. He felt it was just the pure exuberance of the character that brought so much out in himself and gave him that confidence to ad-lib and really embody the character.
Okay. Now stop what you're doing. Let's prepare everybody for this moment that is about to happen. Strap in, tug on down on those honey bars, and let them get sticky stuck. You're about to go into the many adventures of Winnie the Pooh because we have a real fun fact for you. What? Real fun fact. This
fun fact better blow people's socks off for that type of introduction. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, let's all take a moment of focus.
All right, let's hear this fun fact.
Everyone's mind's clear. Okay, you're right. Yes. Sounds like I'm about to hypnotize people. Are your minds clear? Okay, good. What's one of those iconic Tigger lines that immediately pops in your head? Quick, don't look at the script. Quick, you think Tigger? What does he always say?
Does it have something TTFN?
Okay, so interesting you say that, Clayton. Let's proceed. Picture it, envision it, because 3, 2, 1, bomb's about to drop on you. Boom, incoming. One of these Paul Winchell ad-lib moments that he literally just threw in like it's no biggie iggy deal at all while recording was, in fact, TTFN, ta-ta for now. You're welcome, mind blown. I'll hold for applause. TTFN was just ad-libbed, Clayton. Can you believe it? Thank you. I'm here every single week.
I'm sorry. Are you taking credit for his ad-lib?
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Are you taking credit for his ad-lib?
No, for finding this gem of a fun fact.
For finding the fact.
I didn't invent TTFN.
I just found the fact.
I thought you'd be impressed I found this fact.
It is a fun
fact. It's a real gem. It's like
a fun fact.
Like the Seven Dwarfs just got this out of the mine. It's sparkly and brand new. Look at this gem.
It is a real fun fact.
Aren't you? Isn't that cool?
I literally said it's a fun fact.
Why is your jaw not hitting the floor?
Because I'm trying to keep my decorum.
Come on. You were impressed by that.
All right. We have one final character we need to talk about here.
There's a transition. That was Tigger's voice saying Pooh. Clayton, keep your composure.
It's the myth, the legend, the bear himself.
The big Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh. Is it hot in here? I feel like I'm baking all of a sudden.
My word. That's because you're laughing, Clayton.
Yeah, and what is his most beloved role? Disney legend Sterling Holloway would voice everyone's favorite bear, a very little brain for all of the mini adventures of Winnie the Pooh.
Hey, Clayton.
Yes.
I was looking back at our old pictures from when we visited the Disney studio in Burbank. In the Disney Legends Plaza, we have a picture of Sterling Holloway's.
I'm not surprised. Plaque. I'm pretty sure we took a picture of literally every single
did,
plaque.
But I stopped and admired that photo specifically. I'm like, we're about to talk about him. I saw those handprints in person.
Hopefully you kept that thing so we could put it in the show.
Of course. Always prepared.
Always prepared. Holloway's wait. He was an American actor who began his career in the 30s on stage and in silent films, and later he landed comedic roles in TV shows and movies. His very first acting job was with Disney, as he provided the voice for Mr. Stork in Dumbo. He continued working for Disney and gave his voice to several other characters, such as the grown-up Flower in Bambi, Professor Holloway in The Three Caballeros, the narrator in the Peter and the Wolf segment of Make Mine Music, the narrator for Mickey and the Beanstalk, and then he landed his first lead role in a Disney film as the Cheshire Cat in Alice in Wonderland.
That's my favorite character ever, Clayton. Did you know that? He's my favorite. I love him.
He was your favorite, or that?
That he's my... I know you know I like Alice altogether.
Yeah, I knew the Cheshire Cat.
Cheshire Cat's my favorite. How to make that known. I don't know. I just love him.
Just in case you were
confused. I love him. I want to see him everywhere.
His soft-spoken, silky yet haunting tone made him the perfect fit.
Would you say I have a silky, haunting voice?
Yeah, sure. I'll say that.
You're like, more like annoying.
Sterling returned to the film studio just over a decade later after doing more television work in and outside of Disney, and was chosen to be the voice of the title character, Winnie the Pooh, in Winnie the Pooh and the Honey Tree. Now, while recording for Pooh Bear, Walt Disney asked Holloway to audition for Kaa in The Jungle Book. And Sterling Holloway once recalled, Walt was such a stickler for voices. He said, when you finish with what you're doing today with Winnie the Pooh, fiddle around and see if you can what you can do with that snake. I can't get the voice right. Walt loved his portrayal of the character. That's right. It's all because of the making of Winnie the Pooh that we ended up with the final version of Kaa. And additionally, Holloway would later voice...
Holiday, I think.
Would later voice the mouse... Roquefort in the Aristocats.
So wait, you said it again.
Roquefort.
Roquefort. Okay, good, fine.
Roquefort.
In the Aristocats.
Roquefort.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Well, it's like, hey, give it a spin. Give it a whirl.
Just give it a twirl. From researching it, it really sounded like Walt Disney was just really enamored with Sterling Holloway. He had this high tenor, raspy quality to his voice that was so unique. He truly brought something so special to all of his characters. Sterling Holloway said, I had no problem with Pooh's voice. It was born with the first word I spoke. I saw what Pooh was like and what I'd like him to be, and I tried to make him that way. Sincere, lovable, and always hungry, always trying. Pooh would never hurt anyone or know a word of hate. He was unselfish, giving. There really couldn't have been a better pairing for Pooh Bear. The voice of Christopher Robin, John Walmsley said...
you said it wrong.
Walmsley said he was like the human version of Pooh.
Oh, and there's some pictures here that we have. You can definitely tell they're super sweet. It's Sterling Holloway with Winnie the Pooh. And everyone just said he was like a giant teddy bear in person. He very much was like Pooh Bear. So sweet.
Wow. Oh, you want to finish?
Sure. While the many adventures of Winnie the Pooh would be the final vocal appearances of Sterling Holloway, a lot of comfort can be taken in knowing just how big of an impact and what incredible meaning the character of Pooh represents. not just for us and the public, Holloway had said that Winnie the Pooh was his most favorite of the Disney vocal roles that he'd ever done, since the character really had shown off his acting ability, and he even felt that Winnie the Pooh was Walt's favorite character ever created.
That's sweet.
I think we'll leave it on that.
We will leave it on that. We've introduced our cast and crew.
Aren't you impressed? We actually didn't have to split this into 2 parts. So, you know what that means.
Oh, is this if or the... Oh, I guess that does, because we talked about all the other making of, huh?
Yeah.
There's no other making of?
No, we're ready to watch the film.
Oh.
It is time.
Wow.
Yeah, we gotta go watch what was Walt's favorite character. Isn't that sweet? I didn't really get a pause on that. Isn't that sweet?
The Sterling Holloway bit.
Yeah.
That is sweet.
That was Sterling Holloway's favorite vocal role. Yeah. He loved the character of Pooh, and it was Walt's favorite character. I'll do But yeah, now I'm excited. I can't wait for you to watch The Many Adventures.
Well, it'll be soon. As in literally next.
As in a week from now, literally.
A week from now, you'll be able to hear my thoughts after I've watched it for the very first time. I'm sure the suspense is literally impossible.
What if we just start next week's episode? You're like,
yeah,
not that great.
I didn't really like it.
You would have a horde. The whole entire world would come after you.
I'm not so sure about that, but...
How could you not like... I mean,
okay,
everyone's opinion's valid,
yeah,
but...
But you're wrong. Sorry, but you're wrong.
I love Pooh. He's the best.
Okay. Yeah, so next week we'll actually talk about the movie.
We're doing the actual...
We'll do an actual Clayton watches
The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh for the very first time as an adult. As a fully fledged Disney nerd adult.
Yeah, what she said.
So you agree?
What she said. So yeah, we will be back next week with that. If you're on YouTube, we would love it if you could subscribe, like the video, leave us a comment down below if you're liking it.
Better yet, comment and let us know who your favorite Winnie the Pooh character is. I would love to hear, and why. Tell us why. Or if you don't want to tell us why, that's also okay. I just want to know who the favorites are.
But otherwise, we hope you enjoyed this character deep dive into the characters of the 100 Acre Wood. Again, remember, you can use our code MagicalPod20 over at Park Hop Tees to save yourself 20% off. They got some pretty fantastic shirts. I got myself a Walt shirt, and it's sitting ready for me to be... Guess who's...
You're ready to bust it out to celebrate Disneyland 70.
Guess who's going to be strolling down Main Street in that bad boy?
And you don't call yourself a Disney adult nerd.
Guess what is going to happen?
You're going to have like a strut to yourself, I bet.
No, not.
Imagine it.
When do I strut?
We can wear our Walt shirts as we watch the Walt animatronic. Does that sound like the best?
Other people that are going to be in that audience are like,
nerds.
Can we keep a little bit?
Can we not sit next to them?
Can we get a wide berth from these Looney Tunes, please?
No, people are going to be like, where do I get a shirt like that? And we'll be like, Park Hop Tees. You can be cool also and show your Walt love.
And just make sure to use our code again, MagicalPod20.
Yes, that too.
But otherwise, yeah, we love. We hope you're enjoying the show. We'll be back next week. So I think with that,
remember to be kind to each other and
let's make it magical.
Aren't you gonna do TTFN?
TTFN. Ta-ta for now.